1,000, 2,000, 3,000 of us there. Because what 100 did,
can you hear me?
Imagine what 5,000 or 6,000 are going to do. One day's holiday, trust me, the feeling that you may have saved a young child from the abuse that they are receiving will make you feel so tall, you'll never talk to Jim again without a rigged neck. But guys, I've gone a bit off script. I'm really sorry. I'm very passionate about the DFLA. And get that message out there, guys and girls. Yeah, and please, next time you see us going into one of these towns, one day off work, save a child. It does work. Thank you. Thank you.
You're hearing this, all right? Staying on point.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, before I go and introduce you to the next speaker, Dino here is obviously live streaming all this, so could we have every single flag, banner, placard, everything in the air and give us a big cheer? Manchester, come on! Enough is enough! 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 Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, we've got another DFLA member here. Tremendous fella, name of Carl Preacher. He's got some very moving stuff to tell you about, so give me a round of applause, Mr. Carl Preacher.
It's really loud here if you can hear me, mate.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's pretty damn loud, I have to admit. I'm having to dick around with the volume.
Yeah, mate, it's fucking loud.
Who's heavily involved in the DFLA.
I think it's 6K.
Basically what he's done, he's took it upon himself to go up into Telford and have a look at what's going on up there. What he's found is just unbelievable. It's horrific. It's horrific. Okay, sorry. So basically, this is what he has to say. Stop this. Okay. He says many apologies for not being here in person today. However, I have prior engagements that I need to attend to. After all, family comes first. I want to make it clear that this is not a racial or religious issue. It is a practice being carried out the length and breadth of this country, around the world, and by every colour and race. Grooming is the act of preparing or training someone for a particular activity. We are talking of rape, child prostitution, trafficking, drugging, beating, and in some cases, murder. To give you an idea of the scale, we've been working closely with a group of Telford people in Shropshire, and that's not far from where Lee lives. Telford is the biggest grooming scandal in Britain to date. Since the early 1990s, more than 1,000 girls of all ages have been systematically raped, groomed, passed around, beaten, and so on. The police tell us 46 young girls who are victims of an ongoing investigation are being helped. We don't believe they're being helped at all. We believe they're being just pushed to one side, basically. Totally ignored. It's absolutely horrific. Horrific.
Can you hear me now, Beth?
Yeah, man, I can hear you good. Just changing the name to make it appropriate.
It's so passionate. Now,
hello,
I see
sir.
good to
see you, mate.
Put into Telford as a community.
I had to stand back here because it's quite loud.
Striving forward and giving the actual people who have been silenced and just basically ignored for decades, that now,
some happy bunnies here.
Now we are coming to help. We're here to help now. All you people, all of us together, stand together. We need to help these people. We need to highlight everything that's going on here and tell everybody, talk about it in your clubs, in your living rooms, at your dinner table. Talk about it, because this is what gets things done. This and moving it on. Tell people who don't know, enlighten people of what you've heard today. That's what you must be doing. Right, sorry, I need to go back to this. You'll have heard firsthand what is being done in Rochdale. However, we would personally thank the senior officer in charge of Rochdale. Obviously, that's been said over
done in
there.
every fucking city
So
today.
basically, Lee goes on to say that we all need to be
over 70.
We all need to stand together and move further forward. As one, everybody needs to stand next to each other. Otherwise, this is going to continue. And the people who are doing it are just going to keep getting away with it.
Right,
so without us,
it's not about
the children have no future. Remember that when you walk out of here today. Without us, there is no future. And just because they're not our children, that doesn't mean that they're not children. My children are here today. I want to introduce you to my children now. See these people here. See these children. These. Don't worry about that. I'm the reason why they're here. Don't ever forget that, people. When anyone calls you anything, whenever you call something, whenever you call racist or anything,
opinionated European. I haven't seen it.
This is what we're
That's like shit. Do you want to message?
We was due to have a lady called Michelle Bell.
Stream later on.
I haven't got the details for to contact him.
Can you not inbox him off Twitter?
Where are you?
Sorry guys, we're having a little minor problems here.
I'll take care of that. I'll ping him a twat.
Just say on behalf
Well,
of.
okay, we're back on track.
Sorry, mate. I can't.
Can we give a big warm round of applause for a lady called Carla Seath? Come on, Carla. Please show some respect and listen to this lovely lady.
I have to excuse me, it might take a bit of a while to get through this.
Sounds like she's.
I was at the Manchester Arena myself. I sent an email last week to try and get me on
Live streaming.
Today. But I went against him.
I can't see from here.
This account has been please bear with me. It's her words.
You seeing everything all right, mate? What's the quality like?
It's actually coming through not bad, just jerky as your pen, but that's to be expected with the frame rate.
Teenagers attended the Ariana Grande concert. The evening was amazing. It was her son's first concert. He'd received the tickets as a Christmas present.
Fuck, I can't see it now. Bloody flags everywhere.
The tickets were booked in October as a pre-sale to members of the Ariana Grande fan club, and they'd waited for months to see her. At 10:31, our lives changed forever as we were left our seated area. There was an enormous explosion and smoke bellowed. People screamed, running back into the seated area, watching young children and teenagers jumping off the tiers to lower tiers. People being trampled and squashed in the mines, running for their lives. They were ushered towards the other entrance, and she made her children look up. They did it, but they didn't stop from smelling the burning and hearing the screams for help. Totally unaware of what else they could be walking into. Another bomb, people with guns. Who knew? But they had to get out. Parents screamed as they were separated from their children. They left the arena and ran. Outside was chaos with people shouting for their parents. People sat on the floor crying, covered in blood. She ran and ran and didn't stop running until she got through Trinity Way. The next couple of weeks were a blur, but she cried for a week, couldn't listen to certain songs. It was stuck on the news. She was stuck to the news. Didn't feel like she should have felt so bad. But she wasn't injured. She got out, but others didn't. Everyone was talking about the tattoos, and although I despised them, I just set in my head that that's what I needed to do. So now I think back, I just wanted to cause myself a bit of physical pain. She works with young people who self-harm, and now she understood that feeling. She returned to work, and this was because she knew pupils from the school she worked in had attended the concert. She needed to know they were okay. Well, when you say okay, I mean they're not physically injured, but the students know the way she felt, and the only person that could understand was me. So while trying to deal with her own trauma, she was supporting them. Her daughter had just completed a level 3 diploma to become an early years educator, and she did this to do it in maths GCSE, which she did 3 days after the attack, and then she failed. So that's changed her life now. The rest of her life, she has to go back and do basic skills. A Facebook counselling service was set up, and therapists from all over the country came offering free counselling because we weren't getting that. People from the attack weren't getting that. Hundreds of people joined the site. The One Love concert was announced, and people were asking the group about getting tickets. So she met with people from Ticketmaster to make sure that everyone on the group did that, and they all wore pink ribbons on the day so they know who each other was. After the concert, she thought the site would come to an end because that's what the support was for. But then she realised how people were writing on a daily basis how they felt abnormal. They weren't physically injured. Why are we victims? Are we survivors? Why do we sit and cry? Why does a car backfiring or a balloon popping make us cower? Why can I not feel safe in a large crowd? Why? It became apparent that all of the survivors were feeling the same. At this point, there was 117 members in the group from all over the country, and they knew, who now all felt normal. We knew it was okay to feel like this because we all felt the same. People were going to GPs, they were trying to access counselling all over the country. But we're really struggling. It became apparent that we were all being told it takes what's normal to call us in 5 months to see if you've got PTSD. There were long waiting lists for children, adult learners unable to continue with their degrees, parents off sick, not being able to go into work, financially drowning. They were paying privately for counselling, £30 to £40 an hour, because they can't wait 4 or 5 months for people who suffered minor injuries. Moving forward, we needed to look at how to help these families and provide counselling, physio, sick pay, or financially assist. Manchester as a city were rallying round and supported each other, but forgot those who travelled far and wide and went back to their own authorities, who were not really in line or understood the needs of the people of Manchester. We needed to network to try and help people who were struggling with life. May and June were horrific for our beautiful country. On the 22nd, the world focused on Manchester, and then sadly, the London Bridge attack. So focus shifted, then the other attack abroad, and then Grenfell. As a country, we focused on the latest tragedy only. As humans, we're stuck in that moment that we relive on a regular basis. We're the victims, but we're also survivors, and we need help to move on. I contacted Andy Burnham as I was concerned about the lack of support for people affected psychologically rather than physically. Survivor's guilt was taking over our lives, and we didn't feel like we were being taken seriously. It seemed that unless you were bereaved or injured, you would get over it. Because we didn't have bandages covering our wounds, we were fine. Andy immediately set up meetings between myself and representatives from CAMS and discussed the issues and barriers that have met.
See the woman with the big camera over there? That's Discovery.
They were very supportive and lots of conversations took place, and then the resilience was born.
That's Discovery.
I had immediate contact with
earlier on. I've got
who asked for details
Discovery Channel
of people who then subsequently got in touch and tried to help the best they could.
We've seen some Antifa on the way, so I just went like not actually admitting to being Antifa, so I went up and fucking spoke to him. Didn't like
3
it.
months on, and things went much better for many of us. Crowded areas, sirens.
Yeah, I can't
loud
message Simon Harris direct right now, mate. It's not letting me.
It's no worries, I'll do it in a bit.
Yeah,
I'm
just
wondering whether it's best for me to get back and do it tonight or do it on the way back.
Or, I mean, if you're totally fucked, there's no reason why maybe even we couldn't just do it tomorrow. I don't mind. You've got to bear in mind, you're fucking running around like an idiot.
The empathy you feel for the people involved is overwhelming, like you're going back, feeling that fear.
For other people, I think.
How do I feel right now? Weak, numb, angry. There is no justice for a man who walked into a child's concert and deliberately set out
Yeah, we'll talk
to
about
kill,
it
injure, and make young children and their parents.
Sorry, audience.
She's starting to break down.
Not an hour of the day goes by when I'm not sat staring into space thinking. I avoid certain situations. I freeze when I hear a siren, a loud bang. I'm a prisoner trapped in fear. In my opinion, the whole situation could have been a whole lot worse had he not mistimed the detonation. His name has not left my lips as he's not worth my word.
That's right.
How do we stop terrorism? We can heighten security, monitor people, stop certain people from travelling. How do we stop the radicalisation of vulnerable young people with today's technology?
James has said we still need to do that video.
This. When they're driving vans and cars at high speeds and people, low tech, maximum impact in terms of injuries and fatalities. How do we control that? As a country, we're fighting a war that we cannot see an end to. Innocent people are dying, and all the government can say is we will not give in to terrorism. Well, that's okay when they're sat in their ivory towers protected while it's the working man that suffers. I contacted the hub as at 4 months on, I found I was suffering from signs of PTSD. That killed me, going from such a confident, fun-loving, happy person to be afraid of life and terrified if my children leave the house. I felt angry with myself. I wasn't hurt. We all got out okay. I felt I had no right to feel like this. People came out a lot worse off than us with life-changing injuries. It took a lot for me to ask for help, but I knew it was what I needed to do. It was so hard breaking down every week, unable to say the words, and the words were holding me back until I finally said it. I'm scared. I'm scared of crowds, I'm scared of loud noises, and I'm scared of life. How can we be so scared of life? What has he done to me to be so angry with him? Then I watched the ITV production, 100 Days On, and people seem to be coping, accepting that life is how it's going to be. They all seem to be true inspiration. 11 months in, this is my last page. And the support group I set up. Here's my mate, 11 months on, and the support group I started was getting stronger. We now have over 200 members, and I became so much more than friends. These people understood and support. We have a bond that will never break. Does life go on? I'm not sure, but 11 months, I was still scared, restricted, and I knew that 3 people that entered the arena that night were not the 3 people that came home. I'm angry that that moment rewrote my children's future. Decisions were made that affected our experiences. Will they ever lead a different path now due to that night? No one will ever know. A week before the anniversary, and I went to Manchester for the first time. Was I scared? Yeah, but I can't live life like this. I needed to move on, and the 22nd was the last step in a gradual exposure program. I've made lots of friends who I saw face to face, and this helped us all enormously, massively. I think it's important now that the first anniversary is past, that people remember that our angels don't just become names in a paper, images that we forget. 22 people lost their lives. Hundreds of people's lives will never be the same. Families continue to suffer. We need to fight these evil people and show them that we are strong. Although life is hard, I will not let evil dictate my future.
Okay, that nearly killed the poor girl.
By the way, ladies, there's T-shirts on sale down here supporting these families, these victims. I just want to say, you know, that was so gut-wrenching and from the heart, you know what I mean? Shame on this country. That our, you know, these survivors, these families, hundreds and hundreds of them, needing help, needing counselling, and get nothing. But yet, our piss-poor, spineless politicians can send billions of our money all around the world at the drop of an hat.
Want any fizzy coffee, Simon? Are you all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Want to give her a shout? Yeah, I've got some there. Go on, yeah.
Well,
fizzy coffee.
you're not going to believe this, but I've just been told
Yeah,
the next speaker
so it's anonymous now, isn't it?
was meant to be a lady called Michelle Bell
Thank
from
you
the
very much.
TBC Women Against Grooming. Unfortunately, she can't be here. And the reason being is, yeah, we've got a girl, Kirsty, who's going to step in for her. But the reason being is, she's now at the police station because her daughter has been sexually assaulted. You couldn't make it up. Great Britain 2018, eh? So we've kindly got Kirsty on here who's going to come up and say her piece. Big round of applause for Kirsty, please.
She's a first aider, which is handsome.
Oh, always handy in these candy events, isn't it?
Speaking on behalf of Michelle Bell from WAG, Women Against Grooming. WAG was started 7 years ago because we realised there was a lack of support for the victims of grooming gangs. And as the years have gone by, the cases up and down the country have kept us busy. One of the worst cases we have been involved in was in Rochdale. An underage girl was being held in a flat and sold to countless men. We reported our concerns many times, contacting the police daily. It took them 8 weeks. 8 long weeks to get a warrant. This is unacceptable. And the courts need to do more assisting the police when the concerns are raised. We are trying to raise the awareness of grooming and offer advice to the public, victim support before, during and after the trial. The long-term effects of commercial sexual exploitation are isolation from your friends and family and the authorities that you should be able to rely on. Trust issues, depression, self-harm, PTSD, and in some cases, suicide. There is still not a tailored support service in place for the victims of grooming and commercial sexual exploitation. What can be done? The first thing that needs to be done is the authorities, the police, social services, councils and the MPs. They must put child safety and well-being before political correctness. There needs to be an education for all who come into contact with children regarding the signs of commercial sexual exploitation, changes in behaviour, what action to take when suspicions are raised, and the effects upon the victim. School children from the age of 10 should be educated about child sexual exploitation and internet and street gang grooming so they can spot the signs and act fast if someone they know is being groomed. There needs to be more advertising to improve awareness on billboards, magazines and social media. We need a massive drive to raise public awareness. We should not have had to work on so many cases, and if it was not for members of the public, you are our eyes and ears. In 2015, David Cameron said that more would be done to research why we are seeing an epidemic, grooming and sexual exploitation on an industrial scale of our children. He said support would be put in place for victims around therapy and counselling, but to this date, there has been nothing. Talk is cheap and we want action.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean,
there are 20 cross-party MPs calling for
to do with the amount of people that are rapey that are getting let into the country.
To do. But what I would like to know is why there are only 20. Why not the full house? Can I ask each and every person listening to this speech to contact your MP and ask them if they are going to join the 20 calling for action, and if not, demand to know why not. Thank you for listening.
Hey.
Honestly and truly, I've been saying to friends and that on the train on the way up here, you know, I sort of feel I'm sort of dreaming all the time, you know, when you hear all this day to day, week to week, all this stuff, all the wrong stuff that's going on in this country, I feel like I'm going to wake up.
But unfortunately, it's not. It's realistic. It's affecting every single British person in this country. Right, next young lady up. Can we have a big round of applause for Karen Reddington, please? Come on, girl, you can do it. You want to stall?
I'm here today, I'm as a mother, grandmother, but as a daughter of our great nation. And I call upon all the women of this country, no matter what ethnic group, no matter what creed or colour. We implore you to join us and march side by side with our men as one. When we gave birth to our children, we held them tightly in our arms. We promised ourselves and them that we would protect them. And sadly, there are people out there determined to rape, abuse, sexually exploit, and murder them. We will not sit back. We will not sit back any longer while our children are murdered. We will no longer be silent while our daughters and sons are raped. Let's please hold up our promise to them and to ourselves. Join us and let's protect the future of this country. Today and every day, from here on in, we promise to never give up. No more silence! No more silence!
I'll look after your back for you.
Well done, Karen.
Big deep breath, girl. From your neck of the woods, I believe. I have Shazia Tanweer's bag. There.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause.
Today I'm going great while in remembrance of everything that has made the UK great. The reason I'm able to wear what I'm wearing today is because I'm not a slave and I am nobody's property, nor am I owned by a religious bigot of a man who would seek to deny me of my basic human rights. It's my hope that you feel I am someone you could approach on the street if you were in need of directions, or if you wanted to find out the time. You can clearly see my face, my smile, my expression and my moods. I'm not veiled. Burqas are closed doors. They're brick walls, barriers to communication. They're very clear.
Do you want me to get around the front so you can see it?
Does not wish to interact with you. Burqas are saying, keep back.
I don't know. I think it's fine where it is. As soon as you go around the front, you're going to get like loads of people in your way.
Wear them of their own free will. I call these women political Muslims, and the burqa is their uniform.
And a very subtle little tattoo on her foot as well.
Men also wear
I like it.
A Muslim male left in a mosque in the UK, wearing one in order to escape protection.
Feel better now it's over? Oh.
As citizens of the UK, facial expressions are very important to us. We smile at each other, we laugh, we cry, we joke, and we mimic. And we share these expressions and emotions freely with one another, from family members to people on the street. It's great to be able to see so many passionate men and women here today. It's great to see your responses to the speakers, your joy, your outrage, and your anger. I couldn't see any of this if you were all covered up. On the few occasions I have spoken to someone who is wearing a burqa, I had no idea what's going on behind that mask. They could be thinking, oh, please go away. I've got no way of knowing. The wearer could be a man or a woman. Again, I wouldn't know. How can we live and mix together as a society when certain members of our society are doing their utmost to live in segregation and isolation with everyone else? And this extends from communities who have spent decades building right through to the clothing we wear. In the UK, we have autonomy of movement, dress, sexuality and thought. At least I thought we did, until Islam landed on our shores with its demands to silence us and its attempts to get us to bow down to its dictates. It's unfortunate that Tommy Robinson was locked in a cell when he's of more use to us on the streets. Never forget that Tommy has been naming the UK terrorists for years, in some instances even before they committed their crime. He grew up with them, he watched them become radicalised. He has also named the extremist imams in the mosques who host them, one right here in Manchester. 16 Muslims, all within a 2-mile radius of one mosque, have either died or been imprisoned for fighting for ISIS. Tommy Robinson should be hired as an advisor on terrorism and how to keep UK safe. But instead, as usual, they silence him and shut him down. Meanwhile, Muslim Council of Britain and men with their ties to extremism get to enter Parliament and advise them on Islamophobia. Why? Because they bring with them the Muslim bloc vote. Muslims vote in a pact, and it's vital that every one of us realises how important a vote is. We have become a nation of lazy voters, not interested in politics or religion. We've had it far too good for far too long, and unless we realise the importance of voting, we will lose the freedom that our forefathers fought so hard to obtain for us. Tommy Robinson remains one of Great Britain's fearless advocates for the freedom to criticise religion. And isn't it very ironic that just as Tommy is being locked up, Anjem Choudhury is being released to spew more Islamic extremist filth and hatred on our streets. Anjem is being released after only 2 years in jail, having served less than half of his original 5-year sentence. The police will tell us they will be monitoring Anjem, but let's never forget that while the police were monitoring Anjem, Lee Rigby was killed by his supporters. Anjem's legacy stretches all the way to the recent London Bridge Karen Knight jihad. Anjem Choudhury needs to spend a lifetime in solitary confinement. He does not need to be on the street wearing his jihad pieces around, as he likes to call the free money we give him. Tommy has been sentenced to 13 months. Let's see if he too serves less than half that time. If so, we'll see him home in time for Christmas, that most wonderful of Christian holidays, and we'll have a street party the likes of which the UK has never seen before.
Well done, mate.
Okay. Listen, I'm sure you're all aware. Next Saturday in London, right, all 3 o'clock. You can all go and make your voices heard for Tommy now, can't you? Make London massive. Right, moving on. You've all heard the next one on the Facebook. Justice for our boys. Can we please welcome Tracy Blackwell? Come on, dear.
Hello, Manchester.
Well, they're all here today, mate.
Thank you. You lot here over the last few months have become our family, and our children are your children.
Say again, mate.
Bloody hot here as well, mate.
Yeah, I can't see it from here, mate. I've got my front.
Firstly, thank you to the DFLA and Veterans Against Terrorism for having invited me here to speak today. I was here a couple of weeks ago and I spoke then.
You have to turn me down, mate.
For those who don't know me, my name is Tracy. I am the mother of Josh, who was murdered along with his 2 best friends, Harry, and this is Harry's mum, and George. Their murders have been covered up by our entire establishment. We stand here all together to remember the people that lost their lives that night, as well as our thoughts go out to the 28 people who have missing limbs from that horrific atrocity that the mainstream media do not seem to mention. 28 people. The establishment expect us not to speak out about it, to not look back in anger. Well, we will look back in anger because it was avoidable. Because he was on a non-terror list. And what have they done since? And what are they going to do in the future? Absolutely nothing. People, don't give yourselves freely to the establishment. We have an establishment that despises us, that does not care about us, that wants to enslave us, who tells us what to do, how to think and how to feel, who uses us as cannon fodder. Let's stand up to these traitors of the British people. We are fighting against people with no remorse, no guilt and no heart. We the people have the power to unite and the power to remove. The fight to protect our children is one we must fight together. There are 3 words that the establishment try and make us fear. Number 1 is political. If you speak freely, they can arrest you, as we all know, and then all of a sudden you're a political prisoner for speaking out. Well, to the police. Chowdhury, a well-known hate preacher, told one of your own that he should not be wearing a Help the Heroes wristband because it was political and you're not allowed to be political. So the police officer took it off.
I know it's valid, the shame chance, but that always makes me think.
Got a feeling they've come to close us down.
Oh, interesting.
Shame on you! Listen. It's not my friends. It's not my friends. All they're doing is going over that side to relieve the other officers or whatever. So it ain't no problem. Okay, so let's calm down.
Let's calm down and please let Tracy finish what she had to say. There's no problem whatsoever. Okay? So let's all calm down and listen to Tracy, please. Let's show a bit of respect to her. Come on.
Right. So we go back. Chowdhury, a well-known hate preacher, told one of your own that he should not be wearing a Help the Heroes wristband because it was political. And you're not allowed to be political. So that police officer took it off. It is not political to support our heroes that have fought and died for this country. We shall support them. And it is not political to speak out in this country that is meant to be like the land of the free. Number 2, Islamophobia, dislike or a prejudice against Islam. Are we not meant to speak out against the very ideology that is used to preach hate? The very word that these radicals go by that have murdered our people and raped our children because the Quran says it's okay to marry a 9-year-old? Very word that they do not want us to speak of, so they can turn this country into an Islamic state. Are we going to accept that? No, we're not. Number 3, the word they created is racist. That negative word that kept us divided for years means nothing no more. I have turned that word into a positive for all of us, no matter what colour or creed you are. So that word to me now means real action creates independent, stronger together. I was brought up to be brave, loyal and honest, to stand up for myself no matter what, to defend myself against bullies and to not let anyone intimidate me, and to love my country. It was instilled in me that one thing that means more than any amount of money is your word, because your word is your bond. So I shall say to you, all of you here today, you have my word. I will not back down. I will not surrender. I will fight with all my might, along with Corey and George's family, and everybody else here today, for justice for our boys and justice for the British people. I once read that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man or woman is not he or she who does not feel afraid, but he or she who conquers that fear. Do not fear the establishment, because we are the biggest threat to them if we stand together. Because we did not ask for this. I would rather live one day as a lion than 1,000 years as a sheep. I would now like to say, justice for Charlene Downs, justice for Chelsea, justice for Melanie Shaw, who is another political prisoner, and she is suffering in prison. Justice for Tommy Robinson. Justice for the rape victims. Justice for our boys, Josh, Harry and George. And justice for all extremist victims, which we class as our heroes. We have not forgotten you and we never will. To the cruel and oppressive government that rule us, we are coming for you. Thank you, everyone.
Afternoon, Manchester. As I look around this crowd today, all I see is patriotic, hard-working British people that have had enough of being lied to. So I'm here today to stand with each and every one of you, to tell the police over there, to tell Theresa May, to tell the establishment that enough is enough! We, the British people, will no longer stand for our children being blown up, raped, maimed and murdered. Why do the media tell us it's okay to be angry about Grenfell but not Manchester? Because it doesn't fit their narrative. The elite that run this country are determined to bring us to our knees. Are we going to let this happen? They're using political Islam against us to strip away our liberties and freedoms. The word Islamophobia is used to stifle debate, but a phobia is an irrational fear of something. It's not irrational to fear a political ideology that advocates for your death. I'm not hateful, I'm truthful. And as a father, too, I fear for my children's future if they grow up in a world dominated by political Islam. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, rational debate, arts, music will all be lost if the Umar are successful in establishing their global caliphate. So now, I'm appealing directly to the Muslim Council of Great Britain. You want to say you want peace, you want to integrate with us, call for the 109 violent verses in the Quran to be removed. You cry Islamophobia every time we question your belief system, yet anti-Semitism is rife within your communities. Now, before I finish, I do want to mention Josh, George and Harry, Tracy, Ian and Nick, and the other lady's sons. These were 3 English children whose lives were snatched away by terrorists on the streets of our capital. 3 lads with the potential to achieve anything that was snatched away, and ever since that day, the establishment, the Met Police, they have conspired to conceal the truth away from all of you. If you truly knew the extent of the attacks that happened in this country, we would rise up. But we have to rise up now. If we don't do something, this country will become an Islamic state within the next 20 to 30 years, and I'm not going to stand there and let it happen. So to Sadiq Khan, to every follower of Islam, if you truly want to live peacefully side by side amongst us, stop playing the victim every time there's a terror attack. Stop raping our kids! I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of live streaming going on here. I mean, Dino here has been showing me all the way through this. People from America, from Australia, all over the world, texting in, showing support. But I just want to tell every person watching this and every person in this arena, if we, the great British public, start showing as much passion as what they've just in, we will win! We will win! Our country shouldn't have to live like this. Right, we all, every single one of us, all admire, love, cherish what the veterans and all those people that died in World Wars have done for us. But next up on stage, we have an amazing man called Dan McDevitt, a true veteran of ours. Welcome him up on stage, please. Hello, Dan, the veterans.
Come on.
Just give me a minute. I don't normally talk me, because I haven't practiced it. I've come it from here. Yeah. Now, on the Manchester attack, I was sat in the living room, yeah, which has just got smashed up. Right? Our Veterans Against Terrorism was formed, and the reason why it was formed, yeah, is when a terrorist attack hits you, it's devastation.
Yeah? And all it did was bring back memories from 20 years ago. Some of the lads that are here and a lot of the veterans that are here, we've been in a terrorist attack. We was there for the Alma bomb, picking dead women and children up. Yeah? We know how people suffer. We know what the families go through. But them lads have been through it themselves. But what people forget, and Cola did an absolute fantastic job of it, it's not just 22 people that's died. Yeah? It's not just the 21 people in Birmingham that were blown up by the IRA. It's not the 22 people that were blown up in Orma. They've gone, their families are suffering worse than anyone suffers. But it's them women and children, right, thousands of them, that are suffering to this day and are going to be suffering in 20 years. Yeah, that's the bigger picture. And there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it. Yeah? I'm going to be truthful with you. I say it as it is, me. I don't want a civil war. Do you know why? Because I've been in a civil war. I've seen what two sides do to each other. I've seen the innocent people that get drawn in. If it happens, you have to deal with it. But the strongest way to stop it and to change it is through the ballot box. The ballot box changes everything. Labour sent us to war. I've lost friends all over the world. Yeah? And a lot of people don't know, right? Matthew Rowan, he was he was 2 SAS. Working behind enemy lines in Syria, infiltrated ISIS.
Keep off centre for the speakers, mate, because that feedback's going hard on it.
People like you! Yeah? People like you, so you can sleep in your bed.
Not bad.
People forget that. And what I've got to put over is I've worked in the terrorist section. I have experience from it. I know what happens in the military side. I know what happens in the government side. I know what the lads go through. Yeah?
That sounds all right there, mate.
Corruption.
Good, I can hear again.
Yeah? The IRA and that were horrid.
Seriously,
but you are fighting a different type of terrorism.
Yeah, don't lose your eardrums, dude. Don't.
You get sleepers.
That's 6K giving me a right shoeing.
You cannot tar everybody with the same brush. You need to work with grassroots, otherwise you are never going to win. You're never going to win.
He's right.
You need to work with grassroots. You need to get them people out, and then when they're out, they need to be deported or in prison. That's how it works. That's how it works. Yeah? That's how it works. And what happens is then, to get that information, you do deals and stuff. And that's what you're up against. You are going to achieve nothing, right, by kicking off and rioting. You will achieve more by doing what you're doing today. Now let me just add something. All look over your left shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. What can you see apart from the police? Nothing. Do you know why there's nothing there? Because we have proved ourselves from a year ago when we come to Manchester that we are not a bunch of right-wing extremists. We are normal, working people that are passionate about England. And we have proved ourselves time and time again with no arrest.
He's right, you know.
And we are a team.
Yeah, man.
Because we carry the clout that we do with veterans, we might not show out in massive numbers, but I'll tell you something now, we will stand and be counted. Yeah? And so will the football lads and lasses, but you have to do it right. You have to do it right. There's other groups out there that have banged their heads off walls for 15 years. Look at the change we've got. There are Islamic schools being shut. People are being arrested, interviewed. You will not hear about it, but things are happening. They are happening.
You won't hear about it for the simple reason being it could create that. There's more to it. There is a bigger picture. What you have to do is keep doing what you're doing. Yeah? Keep doing what you're doing. Do it right, grow, and you are making changes. Yeah, it's the people here. The person stood next to you. Not me, because I started a group. Not Richard Inman. Yeah? Not the other groups out there in the DFLA. It's
the guy
you
channel.
that are achieving this. Do it right and you'll achieve it. Do it wrong.
Yeah.
It's almost the way you've lost.
I'll go hold of it in a bit.
In the military, you get what's known as tactics.
Can definitely speak.
Right?
Good. I like
Player
that.
planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. Do not show piss poor performance. Show tactical spirit and do it right. We are a multicultural society and there is good and bad in everyone. Let's not be the bad that washes this movement away. Yeah, let's be the good that gets change, that moves things forward. Right? So it's a year on. It's 5 years on since Lee Rigby. Again, massacred by cowards and an evil disease. Yeah? There is no room for extremism. We don't want extremism. And I'll tell you now, I'm not going to sledge me off after. I don't want extremism from the left, the right, or anything. I want what's right. It's about what's right and wrong. I want justice. I want them 2,300 kids that are suffering from PTSD to get help. I want the government to start looking after its women and children. You are not going to get it through being a bunch of knobheads that kick off. You are getting it through what you are doing. Keep doing what you are doing. So on that point, 5 years ago, Lee Rigby, on the 29th of March, Matthew, 2-2 SAS, you don't hear about him because again it's all government stuff, they're all the elite. Then people have given their lives for the ultimate. So what we're going to do now, we've got the veterans at front with medals on, some more than others, we've all done our bit. We're going to play a last post as a mark of respect for Lee Rigby, Matthew, the 22, the 21 from Birmingham, anybody that has been caught up in a terrorist attack. But when you give in and you riot and everything, you've been defeated. This is what it's about. Stand strong, sort your heads out, get your tactics, and do it by the ballot.
There you are.
Get the labour out, get the corrupt politicians out, yeah, and do it properly. So please now, everybody that's here, yeah, please show that mark of respect. These lads will show that mark of respect, stuck to attention. Yeah, this is where the proof is in the pudding. You can talk, you can gab on it, you can put them down. We're going to play a last post. Stand up! We're going to have a minute of silence for respect. Yeah? And all you people do there, the police walk through here.
You fucking idle bastards.
They weren't coming for that, they were coming to let us out. There's a lot of police officers that I served with in Northern Ireland that were there on that night. How many of you here have picked up dead women and children? Not a lot. There's a lot of police that side with us. Right? You've got to bear in mind there is a right way and a wrong way.
A lot of passion.
I agree with you. Why do you think we go to Rochdale? Why do you think we go to Telford? Yeah? Why do you think we go to army? Why do you think we go to war? Because corrupt politicians send us. Because we interfere. This is a pressure group to get better. Stand up, speak your mind, and get change. But do it right. This is last post.
please have that minute silence. Yeah? 1 minute silence to show that mark of respect. 1 minute silence, please. Just to reiterate, before I go on, before I finish, as these people shouted down here, what about our women and kids? That's what we are here for. Doing right, stand up and be counted, and you will get change. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for all our veterans. Very, very proud of you all. Right, moving on swiftly because we're running out of time. And I know I've got to get my train back to Mars. But anyway, we've got 3 local fellas here who are doing absolutely brilliant work. All come out together. Daniel, Mike, and Billy. Give them a big round of applause, lads.
Hello. So my name's Daniel. I'm from a group called Shatter Boys UK. So we're a support group and a campaigning group that supports male survivors of childhood sexual abuse. The campaigning stuff we do is we don't go after the paedophiles. We're going after the survivors. So we go after those lads who've been in care, who have been failed by social services, by the police, by the authorities, by people in positions of responsibility and positions of power who did not act. When these young boys reported what they do. Thank you, mate. So what I am, I'm a survivor myself, and I am part of the generation, that is standing up and saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. What we're doing is creating an army. Let me tell you, we're creating an army of survivors. So what we've been doing over the past 3 years, so where you've seen in the papers, where grooming's been manifesting itself, where CSC, childhood sexual exploitation, been manifesting itself, The research, what we've done is these towns and these cities, there's been a history, of failures from councils, from police, from social services, It's been a breeding ground for paedophiles, Not here to be liked, This isn't about colour, This is about young people, this is about young boys, This is about lads who know you in Rochdale who've taken their lives. Cannot stand here now, and speak, They're the people that we represent, So what we've been doing is most importantly, members of the public, because when it comes to grooming and childhood sexual abuse, it's such an unpalatable subject, right? People are going to bury their heads in the sand about it. They don't want to face it, But it is happening. It is right, And for those people who think that Rochdale is sorted, we've got evidence. Believe you me, it isn't, They've got two lads here with me from Rochdale who's gonna speak in a minute. Yeah. So what's been said is what's happened in Rochdale has changed the landscape of safeguarding. It hasn't.
Who's that shouty fucker?
Let me tell you, if anything, it's gone worse.
The one,
and if it was sorted,
the one over there.
Yeah. Speaking to you, wasting my breath, and have me feet.
One of them screaming and shouting. I met him in a pub earlier on. Not enough bloke who's sober, but I don't think he's sober.
I couldn't work out what he was saying.
The low voices.
No, not me.
It's like throwing a sausage up an alligator, basically, which is flipping useless. Yeah. So on the 29th of July, what we're doing, we're down at Speaker's Corner. We're going to take over Speaker's Corner. Yeah. I've got survivors coming from up and down the country. Members of the public are going to go up and down the country. Yeah. We're going to stand up and tell you what's going on. Yeah. 200 lads, yeah, that I have worked with, yeah, who have reported no recent challenges to the police. Guess how many convictions we've got? 5! And that is because, yeah, they're not believed. Because the life goes off the rails. They end up in prison. They end up in rehab, yeah? All this is effects and impacts of child abuse, what it has on you, yeah? You end up going off the rails. So what they said to me is I'm not a credible witness when the police took my story. Let me tell you, I'm an incredible witness, yeah? Exactly what went on. I may not have got justice with my case, yeah? But we will get justice for others, and we will not stop. I've got about another 40 years in the day. I'm not going to stop. So thanks everybody for listening. I'll just pass over. Thank you. I just introduced Mike, so Mike from Can't Lie to people.
Manchester, first of all, just give yourself a round of applause. Right, okay, so the reason I'm here, I'm not talking about colour, I'm not talking about creed, race, religion, I'm not talking about any of that right now. What I'm talking about is each and every one of your children. Use the children is put your hands with your children. Right, so the reason I'm here is to protect all of your children. Now, what it comes down to, hello to the police filming up at the top as well. The reason I'm here is because there needs to be a change in legislation in how sex offenders are dealt with. There needs to be a change in paedophile hunters, like myself, being called vigilantes. I'm not a vigilante. I'm not a vigilante. It's got nothing to do with vigilantism because I'm not taking the law into my own hands. I'm taking the law that is set by the government and by whoever else and providing evidence to the police to get these people put in prison. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And at the same time, when it comes to the sentencing, there needs to be change in how these people are sentenced, in how these people are dealt with. I mean, I've had re-offenders recently that have been let back out into society, allowed to change the name, and then re-offended. Where's the justice in that for your kids? There's no justice for the kids. There's no justice whatsoever for any of your kids. Now, I know we're quite conscious of time, so we need to wrap it up, but last message to all of you. Please, 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 every single one of you that's here now that has a child that has a device, check your child's device, because if you don't know who your children are speaking to, then you don't know who your children are speaking to. This is all about protecting children, standing up for our children, standing up for your own children, and making a difference. Thank you, guys. I'm going to pass you on to Billy now.
Hi, Billy. Back UK, Rochdale. I'm telling you now, we're the last line of defence for all our children in the country. We are the last line of defence. These guys aren't doing the job anymore. Everybody in Rochdale needs to come together. Everybody in the UK needs to come together.
Not a place to be a police officer today, mate, I can tell you.
Yeah, they're getting fucking ripped hard. Good.
No lube, nothing, mate. Straight in. Oh, it's going off over there.
Probably one of them lot.
Sorry, guys.
The missus is over here as well.
Well, listen, lads. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all pick it up? This
That's my missus there, mate. You alright, lad?
Where is she? It's still on the ground, is it?
You're Nazi in uniform. You're Nazi. You're Nazi. 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 What the fuck? Dickhead! What's this?
Well, you can't say you're not getting action today, boys and girls. Coming to you live without a fizzy coffee. Well, I'm fucking gonna complain.
I'm amazed the police didn't put a fucking bag over his head.
What, stop spitting?
Well, you know,
I've got a feeling.
You know, bag over the head, plastic handcuffs behind the back, and throw them in the back of a vehicle with no license plates. I mean, the way it's going here. Hashtag.
Have you noticed that the old Bill had to video it themselves because we were all videoing it? I'd like to see how they cut that one up, though.
Kind of curious as to what he did. Oh, Num Num's just asking what he did. I don't think we really caught it there, Harry.
Because if I can stop it from getting locked up, I'll try and do it, mate. If I can stop it from getting locked up, I will help.
Screaming, sir. What happened?
I've got a screaming.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, no worries.
Police liaison.
Some bloke got twisted up and got carted off.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's Home Secretary that's probably doing it with the local police.
What happened there, then?
With somebody in government probably twisting it. But...
Okay, no. Alright, well, we don't know what happened. So, yeah, I'd love a fizzy. Oh, shit, Bill. Oh. Do you know what? You know you're getting old, mate, because I went to bend over there and I was stiffened up and couldn't get down to the bloody lead quick enough. Mate, I am absolutely in agony here. I just thought I'd share that. But this looks like, I've got to be honest, there's alcohol involved in it.
Don't worry, mate. We'll contact Stana and see if we can get a whip around to get you a little stairmaster so you can get up and down without pooping yourself.
I'm assuming you're in the comfort of your own home again. That's all right. I'm going to get you out one of these, mate, and I'm going to hold you with a camera.
I'm like 400 miles away. There's not a lot I can do for you.
Yeah, 400-mile round trip for me, mate, today.
Nah, fair play.
Well, no, it was only 28 miles. I got lost the rest of it. Yeah. Oh, fuck me, mate. The thing is, a lot of these boys have been getting jolly for a few hours.
Yeah.
Cheers. Fair play. Thank you, Ruff.
I do find it quite funny. The police will be having a nice big presence here.
Making these fizzy. The missus just pouring these fizzy coffees right in front of her, the old Bill. So I don't know what the law is here, but fucking, I wonder why they took so long to catch Dillinger. Hey,
it's quite interesting, right? Free Tommy Robinson and Free Jada Hansen keeps coming up as a taboo message on here.
Right, well, over there, right up the top there by the Castleford Hotel, which the bar's rammed in, so the toilets, not necessarily in that order. They're pretty well oiled up there, and they're the ones that are singing Tommy Robinson and that. Around here, there was a bit of it. And as you pan round, there was a few really angry people in the front. It seems to me they're not looking for a peaceful resolution out of all of this. They want, well, you work it out for yourself. But they're a very, very small amount. You have a look at this up here. They've come to see what's going on. They actually stood when they were told to, right? And for the most part, they're all very quiet and attentive, and they all clap at the right time, and they're all with it. And I've got to be honest, when you look at the veterans, they're very proud people. And there she is. There's the woman that's in a bit of bother herself. Now, you didn't tell anybody in this country to have a gay day, apparently. I was just saying, we won't be telling anybody to have a gay day today, will you?
I think I've told a couple of people.
There might be one or two you might not want to. So anyway, I got the bit of trouble here. I think he probably got a bit loaded. Yeah. Yeah, there's one or two that have got.
So they were treating him so rough because he was one of ours. I mean, if they'd been in Antifa, they would have just walked out, you know, with the.
No, they'd have probably given him a brush down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to torture him, they'd wash him, wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Maybe that's a little harsh, but I think not. By the way, I would say you're missing the speech, but I don't believe there's a lot going on out there. Yeah, you can blame the Welshman for that. And he's got me in a load of trouble over this.
That's fabulous. I saw that, you know, seen that, but I didn't realise you actually did.
So last weekend, I got to wear this. So she's worn my Martin Luther King freedom of speech. So she's been attacked by 3 people. Go, do you realise he's a communist? Do you realise he used to have orgies? And he didn't write his own speeches. She went, really? Sounds an interesting guy. They didn't like that much. Isn't that right, you communist? Orgy going to speech writing dodger. Yeah. I'm going to stick the missus on camera, the poor cow. Let's be honest, I don't want to fuck her life up.
Probably healthier that way.
Yeah. But it's hard to say, but it is the salt of the earth at the moment that are here. The people that can't afford to be here have come here. Isn't it amazing? And hello, how are you? But they're like the really skinned people, and you look at them. They probably had to take, some of them had to take a day off work. The guy I've come up with, he's had to shut his shop today. They probably lost about £1,000 for this. So luckily we have a sponsor, and I can't say her name because I don't want to get her in any bother. But she funded, in most part, this trip. She funded in most part the last trip, although there was 6 or 7, I think it was 7 other kind people who donated. And it's the only way we can get up here, because I earn shit money, he's losing money, and well, I don't know how much it's going to cost in fuel by the end of the day, but quite a fair bit. So the help that we got was fucking bonus, really. I mean, I've got to be honest, even if we didn't get the help, we try to make it, because, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? But it was nice to have the help, and so I'd like to say thank you to all the people that did help, and helped. So, there you go.
Just out of curiosity, who else have you seen filming there? Is there like a bit you said?
Jesus Christ, mate, the front row is YouTube. The front row is YouTube. So you've got, I think you've got, oh, good God, I've got to sit down, mate, your back's killing. You've got Bacon Lady, she's up here. That's Based Amy. Then you've got the lady who goes down and does all the poems. She's here, right? We chucked Red Pill Phil we nicked Red Pill Phil from the pub, threw him in the back of the van. Yeah, man, he's compadres. So that lot. You've got Shazweer, Tanweer, or whatever. I can't pronounce it right because I don't know it well enough. She's here. You've got Make Britain Great Again down the front. You've got, fuck knows, there's loads of them, mate. And obviously some I don't know. So, yeah. So there it is. You know, Britain's caliphate. You gotta love it, yeah, well, no, I mean, if you watch the BBC, you've got to ask yourself some serious questions. I haven't got a TV anymore.
I've never had a TV license.
Good man, good man. Well, at least one thing, you had nothing to do with any of that jiggery pokery that's going on because you didn't fund it. We didn't fund it. I didn't have a TV because I didn't have a TV, and I thought I don't want to watch TV because it's shit. I don't want to have brainwash. 147 quid funding paedophiles. Nah. Nah. South of Bristol. I've got a YouTube channel, so we get a lot of kind people that chucked us some money so we could fuel up. Is that exact way? We come from Weston-super-Mare. Huh? Yeah, we're between. We're between there, Weston and Cheddar. Dogs. Yeah, that's proper rough, mate. I've got to be honest. What I'm drinking now is Thatcher's cider. That's the way forward. That's what we got in this fizzy coffee here.
I'll tell you one thing, before you, it's good to talk to.
Anyway, I'm going to go be sociable and interview a few more people because we're doing a live stream at the moment. That is.
Yeah, we need to stand us back.
Yeah,
I love my live stream.
At the end of the day, you know, that's what it is.
Getting some buffering here.
You know what sets me though, if you hear about it, you know the Witherspoons?
Yeah.
They obviously take practice there, they get all the inflatables and the flags, they're not doing nothing for St. George. Well, St. George's Day is gone, nothing for St. George's Day, and they're not allowed to fly the St. George's flag in the World Cup song.
Well, I won't be fucking going in there.
Well, you know what? I'll leave the box on the floor.
And manager has told me that. There you go.
Fuck that. You alright here for 10?
Yeah, I can't see
Right. Well, they come up from the Black Country.
Well,
just see if there's anybody. I think they're going to be wrapping it up, my old mate, in a minute.
We need to stick together and stand up and be stronger. If we're going to make this country right again, we need to work together. Right, first of all, I just want to ask anyone who's got any of these placards, because this is by far just the start. We have these returned down to the left-hand side of the stage, please, for future marches, future demos. Secondly, we're looking for some volunteers who'd like to come down and take the wreaths, to go down and lay them with respect to the arena. There's a bus arranged. It will bring you back here, or you can stay down that end of town and go about your own business, whatever.
Yeah.
It's been a very, very positive day.
Once again, a drink after.
Manchester as a city, the people of Manchester, and every single one of you that are making the effort. Let's stick together and get our country back on track. We have had enough.
That's right, Phil. That's the Discovery Channel, I think. Right, I'll go get that mush.
Yeah, cool.
My YouTube channel, I want to interview you, that's all right, at some point. I don't know you, mate. Just leave a partner up first, bud, and I'll give you the number. Right, okay, I'm trying to focus on the DFLA Facebook. Lessons, yeah? I'm trying to get through that. I'm trying to go to terrorism. Right, okay, mate, and don't say anything for that, there's a lot of people watching. Everybody wants to support us,
It's interesting, Oliver. You're saying for a new line of Royals, if our current Royals were to fucking help sort this out, it would be great. Because they do have the power.
Right, that's that. Right, okay. Sorry about this. Yeah, they can hear you now.
Whereabouts are you from then?
I'm from Weston-super-Mare. So we've come up to Manchester twice now. We went to the other big march that against terrorism, right? I go to Bristol, I go to London, Speaker's Corner.
Well, to be fair, I go to them all.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier now that we've combined because I had to organise them all.
Yeah.
But basically, what we're about, just to reassure people, people basically tore us as right-wing and extremists. As you can see from my speech, we're not extremists, we're not right-wing, we don't want a civil war, we need to do it right, and we're a multicultural society. Yeah, there are people in there that are afraid to speak out.
We've had multicultural in England for years and got on fine.
Exactly.
So it's a recent thing, and there's many Muslims out there that are sound as fuck.
Listen, I have a lot of Muslim friends, right? And I'm not ashamed to say that, and I'll tell you
But
now,
they're suffering as well.
They're good people, There is good and bad in every race, religion, colour and creed. And just because they're a different colour, so what? We are a multicultural society, I'm not full English.
Our biggest problem is the government treats everybody differently and administers the law differently at different times.
Whereas we should all be treated as one
right.
under British law.
Well, if I break the law, throw me in the nick. But if he breaks the law, throw him in the nick.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I'm about, that's what you're about.
That's what we're about.
But we've got people over in Canada, America and all the rest of it. So they probably like to get into do you do live streams?
I do the odd live stream.
We'd like to get you on one though.
And I will do one with you.
Yep, cool.
To be fair, I normally sit back and organise things. And for me, it's about working with grassroots.
Yep.
Because we can't tar everybody with the same brush.
No.
As you've stated, as I've stated, and as most of the people here have stated. It's not about right and left. It's not about colour, race and religion.
Decency.
It's a simple thing, not just decency.
Yeah.
It's about right and wrong.
Yeah.
And these extremists are getting all the Muslim population tarred with the same brush.
Yeah,
and
that's
they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be. It's a load of rubbish, is that?
I grew up with, as you say, you've got Muslim mates. I grew up with a group that are lovely, right? And he says, I'm struggling at the moment. To my missus, she walks down with her clothes, she's got the traditional clothing, and people think she's a bomber. Well, she's the most quiet, placid person.
Narrow-minded idiots.
That's my job, and obviously your job, and everybody else's, to explain. Not all of them are. A lot of them are sound, and they were sound here for years. And this is something that's been brought in, and that's been pushed by a small percentage of wankers.
I totally agree with you.
So,
and a lot of this, obviously, with me being military, now we've got a job to do, just like the police has. Yeah, so we're sent to places and stuff like that. We're there to do a job, and we'll do our job to the best of their abilities. People say, "Oh, army, child killers." When I was in Bosnia, in '96, right, I worked in a place called Mekonichgrad, and then went on an outpost to Amica, where we protected a Muslim family.
Yeah, because they were getting genocide over there, weren't they?
And this is what we don't want in our country. What we've got to work at is we've got to work at grassroots. We've got to see people for face value, and we've got to see the good in people. And the people that have got the bad in them, we need to prosecute them, and we need to prosecute them right. If they're from this country, they go in imprisonment. If they're not from this country, they're deported. Yeah, you can tag them. There's loads of different ways to monitor them. Now, the Anti-Terrorist Act was wrote a long time ago. Yes, it has had changes, and I'm not faulting them people that write it. They are specialists. But you are dealing with a new breed of terrorists. Not only will they be like sleepers like the IRA was, and they'll blend into society. That's what they will do.
But they have people that help them.
They will sacrifice their life. They will sacrifice their life to cause devastation and to cause that midroll.
That's the next stage, isn't it?
Yeah, if we let them win, by tarring everybody with the same brush and letting them have that divide, then they've won. We need to stand together. All the different races, religions and cultures need to come together, and work at grassroots and find the bad and correct the bad and educate people on this.
I was down Speaker's Corner, and the Muslim people there said, "We're wary of you." I said, "We've been told to be wary of you." Do you think we're getting played against each other a little bit here?
Well, a lot of it by the press, and this is what happens with the press. Basically, if you look at the press, how people won't promote us. There were 76,000 of us on the streets, and there was no press coverage. There was a media blackout. So what that does is that then it's propaganda. The Germans did it in World War I and World War II. putting out leaflets and songs and saying these have been made, this hasn't happened. And that is exactly what the media are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But they can't be trusted.
But they can't be trusted. There are certain media channels out there that maybe it's often to be truthful, I don't know anything of you.
No.
And I'm hoping, and what I'm saying, if your followers don't like it, tough tits.
They like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm about.
They're just straight up honest people, the ones that follow me.
And that, well, that's what we are. But the difference is with us, you get that propaganda that's put in. Now, all right, we might not turn out in large numbers, but we're highly trained personnel.
It's growing.
And then when you put the numbers behind us, yeah, with the football lads and everything, it is a massive movement.
I've never seen any bother. That guy was probably a bit drunk and fell over and he got twisted up.
What actually happened there was an Antifa come down, spat in his face. He never reacted. He just pushed him away and said, "Go away."
So the police had just twisted him up.
Did it.
So they actually, that's unbelievable because they're supposed to be stopping Antifa getting in here.
Yeah, but how do you know who they are? It's exactly
that is it, because
terrorism.
not all of them are washed.
No, and if they're dressed exactly the same as us,
yeah,
that's how they infiltrate.
They were along the way. I don't know if you noticed. They had their camera people and stuff along there, and you were like,
seen them. And do you know what? If I have a message to Antifa and all the rest of the organisations, I don't really bother who you are or what your name is, but hopefully our speeches have proved. You say you're against racism, you say you're against this, you say you're against that. Well, we prove that we're against racism. We prove that we're against extremism. We have no room for extremism, and we have nothing to do with it, whether it be from the left, the right. That man that did kill Joe Cox, you are no better than a man that puts a vest on and blows women and children up. Yeah, you are an extremist, you're a terrorist, and you're one of the bad apples in the bunch. We need to pull together as the British public, as a multicultural society. We need to wean out the bad and make these streets safe for our women and children.
Excellent.
And that's basically everything.
Lovely, John. It's been a pleasure, mate. Yep. Hey, can I just get a quick look at? There we are. Right. I'll get in touch with you soon, mate. Yeah. And we'll do some and tell more people because this has gone out on one channel. I've got another channel to figure. So, all right, bud. Lovely meeting you. Very much. Cheers, bud. No worries, mate. Ah. Hello, mate.
All right.
Right. Great. We have an interview coming up then. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Right. Right. What do you want to do there, mate? I think we pretty much. Do you want me to see if I can find Luke Nash, whatever?
Oh, wow.
Well, get him to. I can see him. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll get him to confirm a stream. You want to pick a date?
Wait
next
till
Sunday.
We're a bit more established.
Okay.
This channel. Obviously, I'm just Craig.
You're what?
Obviously, I'm just Craig. Oh.
You're the fucking idiot that got me into this, along with fucking Glenn.
Oh, wow. I've been described as cancer more than once.
Who by? Hey there, man. Fizzy coffee's running out. We've got to go to a pub.
I think a pub here, mate. It's 2 o'clock. Dying in this.
Excuse me, sir. That's an impressive bit of kit there, sir. Where were you, or what group were you involved in? What regiment?
Oh, what regiment? I'm Royal Logistic Corps.
Yeah, excellent, lovely. So it's nice to see everybody out here, wasn't it?
It's got to be done, hasn't it?
And the last post was brilliant because everybody just did shut the fuck up, and it was like
eventually.
Yeah, well, they didn't even have a clue that you do the last post, the first part of it, then there's the break. They didn't know, so they're up there. Hey! You're like, oh, you fucking idiots, shut up. But they'll learn.
Apparently, police were standing separated.
Yes, because I got it on camera. Those boys over there were, and most of them up there were as well. So fair play to them.
Wait, are you a YouTuber?
Yeah, Reverend Simon Sideways. The Reverend Simon Sideways.
Oh,
I know, mate.
I'm gonna have to read.
Yeah, I've been a lot of these dudes, but yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what you said.
For like you said about helping your YouTube channel.
Yeah, Reverend Simon Sideways.
Reverend
Simon Sideways. Yep.
Reverend Simon.
Because this is actually going out from your, well, not your, Scotland anyway. Because they try and fuck your stream up, I've got my mate on my other channel holding the stream up from there, so they
I've
can't
seen
throw it.
one of your streams before, last week.
Yep.
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 Where you had to do the same thing.
Yep. Yep. Well, we've got the same guy at the moment putting it together. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello.
Yep. So yeah, so I'm going to go and see what they're doing. But yeah, are you going to be at London next week?
Probably not, but
okay.
I'm hoping to get someone that's driving down and seeing if the.
What area are you coming from?
Edinburgh. Well, Livingston.
It won't be me. That's a long old poke, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, he's close to the same neck of the woods as me, so yeah, that is a hell of a trek.
Yeah, you're in the same neck of the woods as him, apparently. So.
We started off at 5:30 this morning just to get here.
Shit.
Somebody else was up at 5.
Cheers, buddy.
Respect you. Oh, you enjoy the Cronenberg.
We're going to find a pub.
Yeah. See you later,
See you in a bit, bud.
I can tell you now, or else I'm going to forget. So when you go in there,
when were you? When did you? I should imagine you served a few times in Ireland, didn't you?
3 times.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Times in Ireland.
1, 2, 3 times in Ireland.
Yeah, you'll remember Ireland after that, won't you?
First time it was amazing. We had the Ardoyne area in Belfast.
Right.
And for about the first month, we walked around the Ardoyne area and we were getting cups of tea, sticky buns and that in every street corner.
Mm.
At the end of that tour, guns and bullets.
And glass in the tea.
Aye.
By the end of it, helicopters across bandit country and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I've done a lot of studying on the Ireland thing, but
intimidation. You know, the IRA got and intimidated the people. It's just, you better stop doing this.
it's only when you started killing when the SAS started killing them across the border, picking them up and dumping them in graves, which they did do, right? But not in massive numbers. But the IRA got shit scared then.
Well, they did the same.
Oh, the IRA without, they didn't have any rules, did they? They do what they want.
But I mean, if they got one of the guys killed and managed to get them away, they find an empty grave somewhere. Just waiting for that coffin. Don't move them in that. Don't move them. Put them in that, and then put some flour on top.
Horrible times, but I can see us having the same problem over here in the future if things go the way they are, and I hope it never happens.
Aye, so do.
Yeah.
Because it fucked Ireland proper, didn't it?
No one wants a situation like Northern Ireland ever again. It was absolute carnage. Absolute carnage. I've never served in Northern Ireland, but I've got friends that have served there. You know, they can tell you that.
I was over there. I was down in Newry when Bloody Sunday happened.
No, yeah.
We had a crowd come down to us. Luckily, they didn't come right. They come back.
There's a lot of controversy over there, but there were people from the IRA that admitted they'd shot on the army. So there were guns there, and there were people taking away guns and stuff. But you lot are painted to be the bad people, and now they're going after people within. And I'm like, fuck that. You sent these boys over to do a job. You were the corrupt ones that told them to do the job that way. You need to just fucking shut up, basically. Yeah.
It's always the politicians that make the bullets. You have to fire them.
Yeah, right.
But
if it actually meant them going into a ring, punching against the opposition, we wouldn't have any wars.
No.
So, pisses me off. But anyway, I hope to see you all at some point again. I'm going to go and interview a few more people, and then I'm going to make it to the pub because it seems reasonable. Anything you like, mate? Yep. Send me a message. Reverend Simon Sideways, you can get through to me. And if you ever want to talk about something, well, I'm Simon, but
Simon.
I'm not religious, by the way, but I'm on YouTube as Reverend Simon Sideways. I've got quite a following. So
Simon Sideways.
It was a nickname that was given to me when I was 19.
Right.
You know, but
the Chinese one, was it?
No, it was a Capri. That went sideways a lot.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So before we got pissed, we'd do a psalm. So
I assumed it was because you were getting pissed and falling on your side.
You know, my dad said about those Chinese women, they're like that. And I went, what does that mean? He says, you'll find out. He fucking lied to me, didn't he? Anyway, pleasure, lads. I'll see you soon.
You're right, mate.
Not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad.
I got a mate spitting image of you.
Yeah?
Yeah, same accent, but he's down near Western Supermare. There you go.
Yeah, well, I'm
I'm on YouTube as well. That's why I come up here. Try and get a bit of footage in there.
Okay. What's it? Say it for the stream. You're live.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
man.
So what's your channel called?
Restart UK. It's ain't been up very long, but I'm just trying to highlight the hypocrisy of everything.
Well, we'll get you on, and yeah, you can tell them all how you feel, right?
Well, I think you just got to keep it.
You done live streaming yet?
No, just got to
right.
keep it calm.
We could talk you through that, but yeah, you can then pull some people in live streaming, tell them, or you talk to them, and they can tell you how they feel or whatever. And you can have a good chat. And we're live streaming. People who are watching, because my mate's actually running this from up in Scotland.
Yeah.
He'll be going through the comments at the moment and replying to them.
Yeah, it's getting a wee bit slow right now, so.
Right, so you want to wrap it up?
No. There's loads of people on. It's just where you're chatting. There's a few things flying by, but it is a wee bit quieter.
Hang on, there's a lady there's got to be.
You've got 150 people watching.
Twitter or message you.
Reverend Simon Sideways on Twitter and every other stuff. Hello, mate. Cheers. Hi, Barry. Yeah, innit? We chucked him in the van. Literally, we went into a pub and I abducted the poor sods and we got... I'm a reverend, of course I'm going to be pissed. I mean, I drink occasionally. Yeah.
You guys need to be very careful because they're closing people down, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we make sure we don't say anything we shouldn't. Yeah, but it's fine. It is fine. Oh, with that crazy man over there as well. So, you say steady, but you've got you do YouTube as well, don't you? Do all the poems and stuff.
I don't do YouTube, but I've just started a Facebook page where I've got a few bits up and things. But the interesting thing was, and I'm not saying that it's because of me, but I did a poem at Speaker's Corner.
We was there.
For Tommy Robinson.
We were there. We videoed it.
My voice didn't carry beyond about the first 3 rows.
We heard it. I was stood back about this far away from the van.
But somebody filmed that. And put it on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
And up until yesterday morning, it had 301,000 views.
Jesus.
Wow.
The guy whose site it is has been closed down.
Yeah, he will do.
Now, I don't know if, I'm not saying it's because of that poem, because I don't know what other content he has on there. But he was closed down yesterday.
You read a poem out before you done the official one up speech last week, and that Muslim chap called you a racist. Straight away, I was there then, and
wrong colour. Got to be a racist, naturally.
Yeah.
There we are.
You're criticising my ideology.
Yeah. Even if your ideology is a little bit rubbish.
Yeah, it's meaningless now. You know, I just call me what you like.
I know.
I know the truth of it. So
As soon as you said it, everyone just went. Everyone.
I didn't even have to.
I know. I didn't see you again.
Well, I said to him, I said, I'm not going to debate you. I said, because what I've done, I've already been round and
Right, Craig.
Yo.
I think we're going to wrap it up now. I will get going in a bit later on once I've got out of the pub, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get hold of you and we might start something shortly, yeah?
Yeah, not a problem.
The bag's not completely ruined. Because luckily I'm still stone cold sober.
I've got a bottle of red wine I actually picked up this morning. So, I mean, I probably will, once I've done all the critical stuff, I'll probably remedy variety by smashing into that thing. It's a nice bottle of red.
Nice. Well, I might have to read it home, but what I was thinking was on the way back, because I'm not going to be driving, and I could get involved with a stream and have some input. So could possibly get Si on and talk about what went on today, and then you can run that because you've seen it all yourself, actually.
Yeah. Well, get yourself suitably lubricated, get yourself on the way. We'll have a chat and see what we can get started in a bit, dude.
Yeah, all right, mate. I'm going to get out of here because I know there's a thinning down now and the old bills are maximising. All right.
Cool. All right. I'll catch you in a bit, mate.
See you in a bit, mate. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Just for the audience, thank you very much for coming and joining us. Lots of good people in the comments. Sorry that, I mean, I'm trying to sort of multitask about 3-4 things here. I'm absolutely crap at it. But have a good evening, guys. And we will probably be running our first joint live stream with it. Well, it depends on how good a shape he is. Simon Harris. later on tonight. So have a good one, and catch you later.